Hey everybody, and welcome to another installment of Tom's World. Today we are back at the garden so I can give you another update on the progress that was made just this past weekend. So as I said, I'm back in the garden again today, and I just wanted to give you an update on what went on this past weekend. Now Friday, I did stop back here after the rains finally stopped, and I did continue the work that I was doing in day 5 of the garden restoration. But also yesterday, Sunday, my fellow volunteers did a whole bunch on the paths that lead from the chessboard. So let me show you what that looks like. Okay, so first I will show you the playing card that I started on day 5 of the garden restoration that I wasn't able to finish because it was way too hot. Now on Friday, it was extremely humid when I came here, but I was determined I had to finish. So here it is. I started from here and I went all the way down here, and you might remember on the last video there was only like a thin line going down here. I got that entire width dug out, as well as the bottom. So now all that really needs to be done is, first off, we need to get rid of all these little weeds that are growing up through the bricks around the 2, because the 7 is already done. So there's the 2 of spades, and you can see it's pretty much already dug out. They did this some time ago, but got to figure out a way to get these weeds out of here other than pulling them out by hand, because that would take way too long. And then we have the 5 of spades. You see some of it is exposed here, but the rest of it is still very well covered. So we're gonna have to do something about that the next time I come here to do work. Now let me show you what the volunteers did. Okay, so here we are at the chessboard. As we all know, that was exposed as of last week completely. The rains have caused some of the dirt to go back over the bricks, so we may actually have to dig down deeper on the grass squares so that it goes below the brick line, so that prevents that from happening in the future. But I'm not worried about that right now. So directly in front of the chessboard, going towards the wall, you can see that this path here was dug out, going all the way up to here. And then for whatever reason, it just stops abruptly right here. And there's no more path there. I mean, there's more obviously all throughout there, as I've said before, but for right now, that's where that path ends. Now down here, towards the side opposite of the wall, we have a path here that was dug out, and the circle on this side was finished up. So now that only leaves one circle left over there. And for my volunteers, I would say, as I said before, there is poison ivy in that. So if you're not allergic to poison ivy, and you're a volunteer, then by all means, please do dig out that next round part down there. If you are allergic to it, even a little, don't bother, because I did get some on the back of my hand and some on the back of my leg, but I managed to get it under control. And yeah, so just don't do it. But they also dug this path out here, and I gotta say, they do a beautiful job cleaning up the dirt afterwards too, far better than I do. But this path is actually pretty wide compared to the other ones. It goes all the way up to that little circle around that tree, and it goes down to where the 2 entrance pillars are here that used to have a gate on it. So they dug that out, and they continued to go down here, which I know somewhere in here there's another little rectangle of bricks, but I'll figure that out too. And it goes, I'm guessing they did all this too, because the bricks are darker here, and you can see where the lighter bricks start, and that's the ones that have been exposed all this time. So a lot of the paths on this end are open now. And now, just as a bonus, I wanted to show you something that they've kept here for quite some time, and it's in great condition. Now, you may recall in some of the videos I had mentioned that there used to be an old, short wrought iron fence that went around the entire garden. Well, they actually still have a piece of it here, and it's in great condition. Let me show it to you. All right, so check this out. I mean, how cool is that? This right here is from 1920 something, and it's still in great condition. It's actually still black, if you can see it. I don't know how well that's coming through, but it's still black. It's got some rust spots on it, but for the most part, it's in great condition and still straight. I have found a couple of other pieces, including one of the gates that went between the pillars. Not sure which ones, but the piece of fence that I found and the gate, they're rusted out and they're warped, and some of the little pieces that go in loops are like out and like all bent and crazy. I don't know. But this is great. Now, granted, we will never again be able to have a wrought iron fence going around the whole garden again, but at least a piece of history, a piece of the Logan's paradise has been preserved. And here's the gate that I found. As you can see on the right side, it's a little warped there. This piece here got warped. It's all rusted out, but you know it was the gate because there's one hinge and another, or not hinge, whatever you want to call them, and there would be a pipe that ran through here, and it connected to those little metal pieces on the side of the pillars in there. It may not be in the best shape, but at least it's still a part of history here. I love it. Well, I guess that's going to bring us to the end of another video. Hopefully you're enjoying the progress that we're making here. I know that I am. Every time I show up here after my fellow volunteers have been here digging out the paths, I'm amazed at how much they get done. And the more they dig up and the more I dig up, the more this place comes back to life. Now, next year, hopefully we'll have raised enough money in the off season through fundraising to be able to plant tons of flowers and tons of bushes. I want to make this place beautiful, so I really can't wait for that. But until then, I will be doing fundraising in between on the off season. Sometime in the fall I'll start doing that, so we'll see what happens. So keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, I'm going to get home, so I will see you in the next one. Just make sure that you stay safe, stay healthy, and take care.